Hey folks, we're going to continue working on the martial power system today. We're working on Ranger Conclaves now. We finished monks last week, so I'm really looking forward to getting into the Drake Warden, Gloomstalker, etc. So give me a second here to check my signal. I'll go through my intro spiel, and then we'll get to work here for maybe like 100 minutes or something. So checking my signal here, mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Hey, what's up, folks? We're going to continue working on. Wow, that delay. Okay, whatevs. So apparently we got a time delay that we need to keep in mind when we're responding to commentary from folks down below. So if I need to sync up my my live stream to be able to catch signal in real time, I will do so. But in the meantime, let's see. I am launching signal here across the internet for folks to catch up. If you're here in the future, hey future, you can skip ahead like a minute to get through the intro spiel and get into the meat of the content for today. But for anyone that hasn't been here before, don't know who I am, or is here live with me now, hey guys, live in the world. My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I play role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition here for the past 5 years, and there is a slew of links in the description down below that lead you to the free previews of various content that I've created before, some of which is illustrated here online for you, here on screen, that I've published before. If you go into them, if you're on a desktop or whatever, there'll be a link that says full preview underneath the book covers like these. And if you're on a mobile device, there'll be an eye icon on the right-hand side of the screen. So whether you click on the eye icon or the full preview button, if either one of those will pop open a PDF. You'll be able to read almost all that content, like cover to cover. So extensive, open book for you guys to check out the content that I have. There's a lot of extra tokens, playmats, different assets and stuff that are in zip files that you get if you purchase the document. And if you think the ideas are cool, then thanks a lot for maybe making a buy or two to help support more shenanigans like this in the future. Otherwise, we can, let's see, click down here. And I just posted that I'm live on Twitter. So if you're still on the Twitter X platform, you can follow me at Phil Kearney to get notifications, artwork, article releases, and other content that I've created. If you're interested in checking that out and coming along. Best way to help support the channel is like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get, oh crap, this is the wrong channel. Hold on real quick. I need to go find where am I actually live here and update my crap real quick. That's a real shame that I botched that like that in my shame. There it is. Okay, cool. So let me try to go in here and course correct real quick, and I'll babble about some stuff here for a minute. But sorry about that. I totally hit the wrong signal thing. So let me get this back up and running here. Reopen. What a botch. So yeah, here on the book cover, these are different covers that I've published previously. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to have to snake my way up the screen to get myself fixed. So this is all inspired by the Color Mana Spell Point variant rules that we're looking at here. The Spelljammer book I'm still working on in the mornings, Monday through Friday, and you can catch artwork about that in the future if you're interested in seeing me design artwork for a book and how layouts get done and stuff, because we're going to go through that same process with this book eventually when we finish. But I am almost caught up here. This is inspired by the Color Mana Spell Point variant rules that are linked down below. We built a color mana system that basically converts spell slots, or the Dungeon Master's Guide spell points, into a color mana system that can be used with Ravnica, Strixhaven, Theros, or any other MTG setting that you decide to create for yourself, homebrew style. And that takes care of all the full casters and the half casters and hybrid casting class subclasses that were designed originally, but that left a hole in the system where we didn't have what's the word I'm looking for? All the martial classes basically didn't have a mana resource So it wasn't 100% in tune with what Magic the Gathering is offering. Like in the cards, all the soldiers and creature types are all mana trigger effects, and they have a color that they resonate with as basically like their own selves. And so we wanted to have a full 13 class, all systems, like all classes working off of the same color system, so that you would be able to reproduce basically any kind of mana effects that you have built out here. So hold on, I'm almost done. Check. Martial powers is here. Collect all that. Quote, post, bop. We are converting the Ranger. So yeah, so we developed this power system here. I'm almost done with updating my crap. What a stumble. Well done, Kearney. Stumble forth, my friend. There. Okay, now we're updated and I can stop flabbering on and we'll get back to work. So yeah, with the creation, once this book publishes, we're going to have a fluid system of all 13 classes using the same long rest resource mechanic of mana as a mana pool that you would then be able to freely multi-class between different casting and martial classes and have the unified color mana system to be able to activate different effects. We're currently on our, where are we at? This is where I want to be. Let's see. Bop. There we go. Yeah, 95th episode, so you can check the past 94 episodes to check out some of the stuff that we've been building. But we have a power list here of alternate magic sort of instant and boost and trigger effects. There's about 200 of them that either use mana or don't require any mana at all. Like instead of gaining powers. Here, let's get these things arranged here on screen. I'm super scuttled because I screwed up all my stuff. So I'm resetting my brain here. Okay, so there's this unified mana system that we curve through that you gain powers like spells, and the powers can either use mana or don't require any mana at all. Things that don't require mana, there's basically a stack of like 20 some odd feats that currently exist, and we'll see how that gets revised in 2024, but there's a stack of feats that you can take. So if you don't want to use a resource mechanic, you don't have to. You can just book out all the powers that you learn. You can instead just buff out a massive list of feats that you learn, or you could learn a list of combat masteries, which are basically like weapon masteries that don't rely on you knowing a single weapon. I think in one of the playtests that Wizards was putting out, they had these weapon mastery ideas that if you're using the weapon, you can use the mastery. But I think at one point they were experimenting with, if you're a fighter, you can use any kind of mastery, but they didn't really have a good mechanic for how you would pick up one weapon mastery and drop it into another without just having a list of masteries that you know, and they didn't really flesh out that mechanic. Well, we already have that here, which is combat masteries, which is if you learn these, you can apply these different weapon cantrip effects to basically any weapon that you're proficient with. So you can pick out the type of action loops that you want for yourself. And then we have, again, all the feats that you can learn. So we have 8 basic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 basic masteries. And again, hold on. Just so you know, you can read along with me today by dropping here into the playtest content and early looks by clicking on the Patreon. You do not have to be a member of my Patreon to be able to have access to this stuff, but God bless you if you want to throw me $1 a month to show me support. But if we scroll down here through the articles, we get down to the playtest for martial powers. YouTube stream here is, hi, welcome to the YouTube stream. Welcome, hi. But if you click this instead, martial powers, it will take you to the Google Doc that is available for you as a read-only document so you can see what it is that we're doing. And as you will note, it's the same document that we're in right now that I am actively editing. So you're welcome to check out and tag along with me as we go through the book. It is currently an 86-page document. It has all that you need to be able to run all these characters and to multi-class into other characters using the color mana system that you can use the previews in DMsGuild down below to be able to currently already create characters that are fully expressed as mana. Like if you want to play a Rakdos barbarian, a barbarian druid, then you have the mana resources here for you to be able to like say, yeah, it's Rakdos, barbarian druid, why not? Then you could have red and black mana assigned to your character to learn spells off the druid list and to learn powers through the barbarian, and have your mana pool blend together using the multi-class rules that we have already inside the document to be able to build any character from level 1 to 20. It's all already there for you. We're just going through the process of cleaning up the subclasses for, well, right now we're working on the Ranger, but everything else has already been buffed out, and pretty much Ranger is the last little pinch of review that we need to make sure that everything is consistently built with the design principles that we've been playing with for the past 94 episodes. Once we finish the Rangers, we'll be basically switching gears into the DM side of the screen to continue fleshing out the monster, the templates for different type of monsters, to be able to build kits, template kits out of the powers so that each creature can have its own like sort of unique flair or flavor depending on what kind of role that you want those creatures to have in combat. And we'll be transitioning into building our playtest content for the playtest that we'll be running. It's going to be basically a hex crawl in Ravnica for character levels 3 to 7. We're going to run that for a number of months. Probably at the end of the playtesting, we'll feel solid enough that we can move forward with actual editing and design work, and we'll see actually when 2024 content drops, and we'll see if this is going to coincide with that information, so that if it's going to be long-winded until like say the end of the year, we may release this using standard 5e content now and then update it with the 2024 design. If 2024 new books come earlier, then we'll shift gears and just checking to make sure my screens are good. And we'll just update everything to work with 2024. Currently, the way that everything is being built in 2024 with the playtesting options that we've seen, this stuff's going to be really complementary to where Wizards is going next year. So I'm really, really happy about the designs that we have in here. There are, I think around episode 91 was the last time we looked at the Ranger fighting styles and the changes to Mark of Prey and the effect that has with Death Mark for your characters. But right now, last week we finished off the power list and the features for the Beastmaster. We'd already gone through all the conclaves about 5 months ago, 4 months ago maybe. But we've had enough tech updates that I wanted to come back through and make sure that everything still reads properly. And we wanted to give a list of powers to the Ranger classes that don't get any free spells. Though we're likely to see free spells in the 2024 revisions. We'll see how that, for now we don't have any in a lot of these classes, or subclasses. So we're adding power kits to make them be on equal standing as, like, say, we have all the monk subclasses, all the monk traditions have 10 powers. You gain 2 per level, just like any other like spellcasting subclass would give you 2 whenever you gain ranks of power. So at 3rd level, we get our first rank of power at 1st level with minimal mana at the very beginning, and it continues to accelerate as you gain levels. It progresses with the half casting, 1st level, 5th level, 9th level, 13th level, and then 5th rank at 17th level. So we gain powers, bonus powers that you may not necessarily pick yourself, but are thematic and flavorful for the class that express it, like the narrative of what the subclass is presented as. We create a list of powers that complement that. So 2 at 3rd, 5th, 9th, 13th, and 17th. And they don't necessarily have to be 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whatever rank. It's whatever power makes sense for wherever the class is at that level. That's generally what we're trying to feed into it. So it complements the things that you gain as a subclass. You're automatically gaining powers that you could learn as basically bonuses to the class. You could, like, for instance, you could pick up power armor at 1st level, but the Way of the Sun Soul gets it at 5th. You could get blinding strike as early as 5th level, but you automatically get it at 13th. So whenever you gain a level, you can relearn, or you can respec your entire character. And fighters, barbarians, monks, and rogues, they can respec at a long rest. So and in and they can swap out on a short rest one power that they know. So when you take a long rest, you can swap out a power that you know. So if you don't expect combat in the next couple, like if you're doing city stuff and you're not expecting a lot of combat right now, you could like maybe drop one of your strike or exploit powers and instead pick up like a boost of some sort. So you have the ability to flex your character during the course of the day, and then long rest, you can swap out all your powers. Other classes don't have, like the Ranger, the Paladin, they can swap out powers per day, but not on short rests. And then like artificers and warlocks that can dip in using invocations and infusions, they can switch whenever they gain a level. They can replace an infusion or an invocation that they know for new powers if they wish instead. So it's all kind of curving together and giving the advantage of powers and making use of them to have your character adapt to what the party needs on a daily basis or on an hourly basis even, so that you're staying current with where the team is going, what your current objectives are, and what powers can you acquire at the rank that you have to be able to adapt to become more efficient with your power, to be able to help the team more efficiently. Efficient. Thanks. So, probably one of my clumsiest starts today. Thanks a lot. Let's get into it. So we're looking at the Drake Warden. Let's see. The Drake Warden is like a souped up version of the Beastmaster. So let's go down here and take a look at what we got so far. We got the Draconic Gift, which is you gain as source, you gain a Drake. See Tasha's Cauldron of everything for stat block. There. Shared power, you can channel strikes through your companion attacks, and the Drake attack can benefit from Mark Prey. You have, if you haven't seen the previous videos already, the Mark of Prey replaces the Hunter's Mark spell, replaces the favored enemy feature and the favored foe optional class feature. Mark of Prey, it's an aura effect. It's a concentration effect. So starting at first level, you gain a free point of mana every time you take a short rest for you to be able to activate Mark of Prey. And if you want to lock it so that it's permanent on your character, you can do so, but it cuts off your ability to use mana otherwise. We've talked about locking mana in the past to not have to worry about concentration. Check out the back stream, and we've had plenty of episodes talking about how that works. But once you activate your Mark of Prey, as a bonus action, you can mark a creature that you can see as your prey, and then you can basically maintain concentration, which is what tapping is, or lock that channel so you don't have to maintain concentration while still sustaining it. You can have that as a first rank power. So at 5th level, when you have 2 ranks of power, Mark of Prey remains 1. So locking it would block one of your channels. You'd still be able to channel any first rank power without being blocked. So you can minimize your risk of losing mana by locking it, but doing so cuts off how much mana you can use at any given time. So it's a risk reward balancing feature there. Minimize risk, minimize the actual power that you can use. Keep your power open, keep your channels open so you can have all the mana possible flowing through to be able to have big effects. Then you're going to risk losing concentration and having that mana lost, so that you have to then cycle through more mana to recast it again. It then becomes a balance of how much mana do I actually need right now to accomplish my goals, how much of it can I afford to lock to be able to make sure I can consistently hit the action loops that I want, versus I want to have big splash, I feel safe, I'm going to risk leaving my channels open so I can have multiple auras active as well as being able to do big bane effects at the same time. It's a risk reward system that the team gets to play amongst themselves to find out what their style of risk is that gets to evolve over time. So it's really fun. It's really fun to have that kind of option available. And all of the powers that we have built inside of here, not like spells, but are all designed around being locked or being maintained and the risks that go into it. So it's custom built around the mechanics that we're introducing into the game to make them actually flow together smoothly. So while you sustain a mark, you gain advantage with attacks, as well as you have advantage on intelligence, investigation, and wisdom, insight, and perception survival checks. When you hit your prey with a weapon attack, you can reduce the cost of channeling a strike by 1 mana to a cost of 0. So while you're maintaining a mark, while you're maintaining Mark of Prey and you have a target selected, you can hit that target, and if you spend mana to perform a strike against that creature, you can reduce the cost by 1 to a minimum of 0. So you could use any first rank powers, and it doesn't actually cost you any mana to use them as long as you're targeting and hitting your Mark of Prey. At low levels, it requires you a bonus action to do so. As you gain levels, you don't have to use the bonus action anymore. It can be whenever you hit a target, you can automatically switch over to the Mark of Prey, to switch what your mark is. So you have that ability to flex. Let's see. So, for example, a 5th level Ranger that hits with a Mark of Prey can add 1 point of mana from your pool to channel a 2nd rank strike, dealing 2 additional power dice of damage. So you deal, for those that aren't indoctrinated, when we're looking at strikes, a strike works like a smite. You have power dice, like say at 9th level, you'll be rolling a D8 every time you spend a point of mana. At 1st level, you spend a D6 every time you spend a mana. At 17th level, you spend a D10. At 17th level, you can spend up to 5 mana. So anytime you want, if you want to use a strike power, when you hit somebody, you dump it in 5 mana, you deal an extra 5d10 damage, and get whatever kicker effect it is that you tag to it. So like, for example, if we go down to some strikes, Life-Stealing Strike. It's a 2nd rank power, so it costs you 2 mana to activate it. You'll roll 2 dice when you do. At 17th level, that means you'll do 2d10 damage on top of whatever your normal weapon damage is. And while triggering Life-Stealing, the weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana burn. In addition, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the result of the power dice rolled. And any temporary hit points that remain when you start a short or long rest are lost. So if you trigger this power, you spend 2 mana, you hit somebody. If you're 17th level, you'll do 2d10 damage, and in addition, that extra 2d10 damage then becomes temporary hit points that you can continue to renew every time you hit somebody for extra damage. You can take that extra damage and apply it on as a shield for yourself to protect your own actual hit point total. Similarly, different power. Let's look at Thundering Strike. Your weapon can deal thunder damage. So when you hit, you're not dealing weapon damage. The whole thing can get converted to thunder damage if you want. And you add 1 power die per mana burn. So like, again, if like say this is only a 1 mana power, so you could use this at 1st level. You spend 1 point of mana. At 1st level, you're only rolling an extra d6. So it's certainly not breaking any curves, but it gives you the added advantage of you deal an extra an extra d6 of damage. It could be thunder damage on top of your weapon damage and any feats that you would use. A creature up to 1 size larger than you can be pushed back directly from you up to 10 feet for each point of mana that you burn. So, and burning means spend. You can tap mana to maintain an aura. You can lock mana to maintain an aura without having to concentrate on it. But that mana hasn't burned yet because it's still actively in use. That's what we call tapping. It's an MTG, it's a Magic the Gathering phrase for when you're activating mana to trigger an effect. You're tapping the mana to make use of it. So while you maintain concentration on something, you're tapping that mana. If you then lock that mana, again, that cuts off access to that level, that amount of mana that you can channel at any given time. And yeah, so burning is when the mana is actually spent. So like if I'm going to add X to a die roll, then that's going to burn the mana immediately. It goes from the mana pool through my channels into the spent mana. I'm actually going to take a second here to dip across. Let's go down here real quick and let's look at the color mana spell point variant rules. And then let's go down to the elemental key. I can show you the mana play sheet real quick. Elemental key playmat. There you go. So here you can see you've got your mana pool here. You've got 5 channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're tapping or locking, you can, again, up to 1st rank at 1st level, 2nd rank at 5th level, it's half casting progression. 3rd rank at 9th level, 4th rank at 13th level, 5th rank at 17th level, which we have reflected here on the sheet. 1 rank, 2 rank, 3 rank, 4 rank, 5 rank. You've got your, and I'll be rebuilding all of this for 2024 with the changes that we make. But for now, your mana pool would be here. So you'd have your tokens or whatever chits you're using as a stack of mana, whether it's color or elemental or just universal spell points, up to you, whatever magic paradigm you want to use, which we discuss in the book. And so you'd have your stack of mana here while you're concentrating on an effect. Say you're 5th level, you'd have 2 ranks of mana, 2 ranks of power that would be open to you, so you could do 1 or 2 mana every time you're using an effect. If you're tapping a point of mana, it's not reflected here, but I could. There are examples on the Elemental Key playlist. If you go into my channel on YouTube to see moving tokens into position. So if you're maintaining a sustained effect that requires 2 mana, you'd put 1-2 points of mana here to occupy the tap space. And if that's your max rank, then you can't tap any more mana because you don't have access to 3rd, 4th, or 5th rank yet. But at 5th level, you'd have access to 2nd rank powers. As long as they're just tapped, they don't block the channels, so you could burn mana while you're maintaining like a 2nd rank power. You can also trigger 2nd rank strikes, 2nd rank maneuvers, 2nd rank exploits, 2nd rank reactions. You just burn the mana as you trigger those effects. But if you lock these 2 ranks, then you wouldn't have any channels open. If you lock them both, you cut yourself off from using any other mana. So this type of a playmat, and we're still playing with different formatting, but this is the format that we have for the Elemental Key book. And like I can see here, you can stack in all your key, and then you push it through, and it becomes spent key. And then when you cover it all at a short or a long rest, it goes back up into your mana pool. So you're taking mana from your pool through the channels to be spent, and then when you take a rest, you're recycling it back up into your mana pool to spend again. So we provide the playmat. There's also a bunch of tokens. You can see here, just to make it quick work, like you can see, like here's a fire token, or a red token, here's a green token, here's a black token, different types of tokens depending on color. And then we also have the idea of elemental key. So here's the different key tokens, air, earth, fire, and water. And then for MTG, it's red, green, and blue colors. So whichever paradigm you want to use, there's tokens included there for you. Or if you're just using the 8 schools of magic, then it's just disciplines, like generic key is like, it's just key. Monks just spend key. They don't worry about what school it is. Martials are the same way. Unless you're introducing a magic paradigm like color mana or elemental magic, you don't have to worry about the key. It's just generic mana that you just spend. So it would just be colorless or black or whatever it is. So that's the quick skinny of how that stuff works. So we are going to be acquiring different uses. So the Drake, when you gain this class, the subclass, you gain the Drake, and the Drake when the Drake attacks, you can attack with the Drake. And when the Drake deals damage, you could spend mana to have the Drake deal extra damage with a smite power like that Thundering Strike. When your Drake hits, you could spend extra mana. The Drake could then push it. Or if that target is marked, when you have the Drake hit your marked target, you could then reduce the cost of that strike by 1 mana, potentially making that a free strike. As you gain levels, Bond of Fame and Scale, you can now channel reactions through the companion. At 11th level, you can channel exploits through the companion. And at 15th level, when you channel a sustained effect, the Drake will benefit from the sustained effect in addition to you. So those are basically, otherwise the class is basically, the subclass is the same. So right now what I want to do is go into the list of powers here and see about fetching any of these 207 powers that we have. Can we find 10 of them and that feel good for the Drake? We began this process last week. Drakes or dragons have a fear effect. So that's why you have the Daunting Presence, which is an aura effect that we can look down here real quick. The aura effect, if you trigger, it's 3 mana. So if you trigger 3 mana, at 13th level, you can have up to 4 mana at a time. So this is 3 mana. It's within curve. Daunting Presence, while sustaining this power, attacks rolled against you are made with disadvantage. And when you are the only target of an effect that requires you to make a saving throw, you roll with advantage. So that is a Daunting Presence as defined. Goading Strike and Mounted Combatant. So you gain the Mounted Combatant feat because you can ride your Drake, right? So you gain the Mounted Combatant feat. You can, let's see, Goading Strike. We actually might make Mounted Combatant. By 5th level, we know the Drake is large enough that even medium-sized creature, it'll be a large-sized creature, so even medium-sized You can ride it no matter what. You can pick up mounted combat for free, obviously at an earlier level, and swap it out later when you gain the feat for free at 5th level. But you can have it, like if you're small and you're riding a medium-sized Drake, you can have it right away at 3rd level if you want, and then cash it in later. But that allows you to save all of your feats that you gain naturally at 4th, 6th, 8th, 10th, whatever level. You can save those for actual ASI to actually increase your stats, because you have 16 powers that you can learn, and like we're showing here, sometimes you get extra feats for free. So cheers. Goading Strike. Goading Strike is, let's take a look at Goading Strike to see if I was on task thinking about how this works. Goading Strike, your weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana burned. The creature you strike has disadvantage on any attack made that doesn't target you. The effect ends if the target hits you. It can also attempt to end this effect at the end of each of its turns by succeeding on an intelligence saving throw. The idea behind this was, if you're channeling strikes through your Drake is, again, it has a daunting presence. It's an intimidating creature, and it's forcing you to pay attention to it by goading you. So if you're triggering the Goading Strike through your Drake, then you have to, if you don't attack the Drake, you're at disadvantage. So it's a really great way for you to use your pet to tank for your allies. That's the idea behind that. So going forward here, let's go up to the highest ranked powers that we have and see if there's anything specifically here that feels like Drakey companion type stuff for us to feed into, starting with the sustained powers and then working our way down. So off the cuff, it's a dragon scary rider sort of thing. None of these specifically stand out as I ride a Drake like I'm a dragon rider. None of those specifically say I'm a dragon rider, so I'm skipping those. We already have daunting presence because that feels good for the dragon. I think we gain resistances naturally, so let me take a look here real quick. Let's go into the Ranger and remind ourselves what it is that the Drake Warden gets. Let's see. Drake Mount. Yeah, 7th level Drake Mount grows to medium size, reflecting your special bond. So that's at 7th level. So technically we'd get mounted combat at 9th level, because you're not guaranteed until 7th level to be able to ride it. So I had to reset that real quick. Worthy change. Let's see. Magic of Feign deals extra damage. We replaced that. Resistance. You gain resistance to the damage type chosen for the Drake's Draconic Essence. So you get resistance for free. Empowered Bite. Reflexive resistance. When either you or the Drake takes damage while you're within 30 feet of each other, you can use your reaction to give yourself or the Drake resistance to that instance of damage. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain all uses of it when you finish a long rest. Reflexive resistance to the damage type to that instance of damage. That's at 15th level. So that's pretty good. So we have resistance effects. Let's go in and look at our resistances. Reflexive, that's gain resistance to that damage type. That's like an off-rogue feature, right? That's kind of like Uncanny Dodge, in that during that attack you can use your reaction to reduce the damage to half. That's effectively what this resistance is doing. But we have weapon resistance, unnatural resistance, and then elemental resistance. So let's go back up into the Drake and see what types of damages that it does to give yourself. Let's see. When either you or the Drake takes damage while you're within 30 feet of each other, you can use your reaction to give yourself or the Drake resistance to that instance of damage. Okay, so it can be any type of damage in the instance. Let's see what type of damages are associated with the Drake. Acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. That's like basic resistance types, and that comes online. Resistance comes in at 7th level. And you get the resistance type that you've summoned with your critter, so you automatically get to choose one of those. I actually think that the aura effects that we have, the resistance effects that we have, are actually useful still. Let's go elemental resistance. There we go. You can choose one damage type, and it requires 1 mana to concentrate on this. And while maintaining this effect, you have damage to one type of resistance: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. So elemental resistance is basically letting you double stack on top of your Drake. So I think that feels like a pretty good 5th ranked power, because at 7th level you're going to be able to do one already with your Drake. Elemental resistance, sus 1, comma. This is going to allow you to have a second resist if you decide to trigger. Like, you can trigger this multiple times. There's 5 types of energy that it resists. The Drake has 5 types of energy that it can resist. So you then get to have basically 1 resistance for free. And if you want to spend mana to gain additional resistances, you can choose to do so. By 15th level, you have any type of resistance that you want for a single. Is it for a single attack, or is it for the round? That's actually worth noting, because these are sustained effects. They're basically permanently on until they get taken off. Take damage while you're within 30 feet. You can use your reaction to give yourself or Drake resistance to that instant of damage. There you go. There you go. So it's an instant. So elemental resistance. Let's go with where do we want to plug this in? We can go with weapon resists, which is also, what is that, sus 2, I think? What is that? No, I think it's 1st rank sustained power. So let's double check. Should be a 1st rank. Feels like a 1st rank. Unnatural resistance. No, unnatural resistance, weapon resistance. It's a you gain resistance to non-magical bludgeon, weapon, and piercing, slashing damage. Oh, you get all of them. So weapon resistance. Let's push that to 9th, since it's 2nd rank. And then let's go with unnatural resistance, sus 2. We'll go with that at 13th level. And then let's go with daunting presence. Let's push that up to 17th level. It's because we can have them at any level we want. Just want to spread things out so that they curve naturally into each other. So we want to find some higher rank stuff, and we want some low level cheapy stuff. Elemental resistance, weapon resistance. I feel like mounted combat can go here. I'm not 100% on goading strike, so I'm going to wipe that one for now. Go with weapon resistance. Have a whole stack there for folks to take. Let's see what other cool things are lying around in here for us to grab. No, I like the resistances. I'm happy with that. Sturdy isn't not necessarily strange metabolism. Nah. Opportunist, mind sense. We might not need any more. Yeah. Oh, deadly presence. Nah. I think we're good on sustained effects. We need what? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a bunch of sus. We have 1 feat. That means we have a bunch of reactions, exploits, maneuvers open. So let's take a look at what we can do. Intimidating, Asium, thundering, sweeping, shocking, necrotic, psionic, grappling, freezing, goading, flaming, caustic, disarming, distracting. Nah, none of those strikes specifically say I'm a dragon. I'm a dragon. What other cool stuff could we do instead? There's a bunch of synergy things that we can do between Ranger and Dragon. Let's see. As a reaction to rolling one more power dice. Curse of Fallen Puppet, countering attack, parry, punish. As a reaction to when an enemy you can see within range of your weapon attack misses an attack roll against you or an ally, you can make an opportunity attack, adding 1 power die to the attack roll. And that's not specifically dragon-esque. Opt. You can reroll a d20. Roll the hit. As a reaction to taking damage from an attack, you reduce the damage by half. Interpose. Actually takes up to 14, and that takes up reactions to 24. I just added roll to hit. Officially at 150, total of 208 powers. Let's go back into reactions. Countering attack, punish, parry, opt. Roll the hit, iron will, interpose. As a reaction to when an adjacent ally, that doesn't say dragon. Empowered defense. As a reaction to when you are hit by an attack roll. Downtrodden deflection. Controlled fall is a good one. I just like it. Controlled fall. As a reaction to falling, you can land on your feet instead of prone and reduce the damage taken by 10 times your max rank. So if you're first level, you can reduce the damage by 10. If you're 17th level, you can reduce the damage by 50. So kind of a monk fall that costs you mana to use. Controlled fall, that's a decent reaction. So let's take it out of there. And Waves of Terror, you can choose any number of creatures within 30 feet of you to make a wisdom saving throw. Each creature that fails is frightened of you. The effect ends for a creature when it succeeds a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns. So let's see, Wave of Terror. That's actually pretty good up here. Let's go with Wave of Terror as a, what is that, 3rd rank maneuver? Yeah, maneuver 3. Curse a creature with use to deal half damage, not specifically. Shunt, lift, regenerate, pack tactics. Pack tactics, so when you channel this maneuver, oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to check to see, you get everything by 17th level. So you get what is it? Strikes, then reactions, then maneuvers, exploits. Is that the order that we receive things? Let's see. We go. Ranger and Drake both have reactions. Shared power. You can channel strikes through companion attacks. Okay, so strike powers. And then at 7th, strikes, reactions. Then at 11th level, it's exploits. And then sustained. Exploits, reactions, and exploits. You can channel exploits and reactions. 11th level, we can do maneuvers. And then 15th, finally, we can do sustained. There we go. So maneuvers come on at 11th level. So by 11th level, we should have maneuvers. There we go. Actually, I'm feeling like in addition, you can sustain you can target your Drake separately with a sustained power, maintaining, tapping, mana separately for the companion. In addition, you can target your Drake separately with a sustained power, and if you can, how do I want to word that? In addition, you can target maintaining tapping mana separately for the Drake. You can sustain the same power for yourself and your pet if you up to maximum rank of up to your maximum rank of power. For instance, a 5th level Ranger can tap 2 mana to sustain a 1st rank power for both yourself and your Drake and your companion. Let's call it companion. And by 15th level, it is free. You only have to sustain it for yourself. So that allows us to take sustained powers that are intended potentially for use with your Drake without violating the sustain bonus that we have. There we go. In addition, you can target your companion. Every sustained power that's in the book is self only. That's why this is that's why this is significant, because this is allowing you to target your pet separately, while no one else would normally be able to do that. So that's, I like that. I like that a lot. Good. Okay, so that fleshes that out. Controlled fall reactions come in for the Drake at exploits and reactions at 7th. So controlled fall should actually come in at 9th because it's a reaction. That's the point in which they'd be able to gain it for free. 9th. There we go. Let's see. We get exploits and reactions. We get strikes and feats at low levels. 5th level. What at 5th level get? Do we get a? What do we get at 7th? Exploits and reactions at 7th. There you go. And maneuvers at 11th. Let's go with strike. We'll go with reactions and exploits, and then maneuvers, and then sustained. Yeah, let's do that. Now we'll leave mounted combat at 5th. We want to pick up a strike here, and a strike here. So let's go strike fishing. Actually, let's look at we get exploits and maneuvers here. Controlled falls reaction, that's good. Let's take weapon resistance. Take that there. Controlled fall as a reaction. Here, strike. There we go. We have space for 3 strikes. We can pick up exploits at 9, so we have room for exploit. So I guess all we really need is 1 strike for first rank. We already went through the feats, and we didn't see anything else that jumped out at us as particularly sensible. So let's go back into strikes to see if there's anything low level that we can pick up that makes sense. Yeah, nothing specifically says this. I mean, there's a lot of different types of damage types that dragons do. Okay, let's go back down into feats to see if there's something cool, because I don't want to. I want to stay flexible with the expression, but none of the strikes specifically call to it. So, savage attacker, sentinel, sharpshooter, piercer, mounted combatant, keen mind. Yeah, mounted combat at 5 still stands. Efficient power, fighting initiate, great weapon master, dual wielding. Strikes, cannibalize power, inspiring leader. What does inspiring leader do again? Remind me of that. What you got? Spend 10 minutes inviting your friends. Get temporary hit points. Nah, not specifically. Chef, crossbow crusher, different duelist, dual wielder, dungeon delver, efficient power, fighter, great weapon master, inspiring leader, linguist, mobile. Sentinel, sharpshooter, shield master, skulker, slasher, brawler. Yeah, nothing jumping out there. So I guess we'll go back up to, let's just thumb through some exploits then. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of exploits we can do, even though the exploits can't specifically channel through the dragon until 9th level. We can still use exploits to help aid the dragon's actions through your ranger. Let's see. Bait and switch when you're within 5 feet of a creature. 1 mana, switch places with that creature. Add a craftsman, ambush. Charge. Extended attack. Oh, extended attack is useful. Especially if you are on the back of a dragon. You'll need extra reach. Extended attack gives you an extra 5 feet reach. That is useful. Charge, when you take the move action, you can channel this power to prevent triggering opportunity attacks due to your movement. Charge is really good. I think we'll just take that. Charge. That is exploit 1. There you go. Now all we need is another first rank exploit, and we'll be good to go. Field medic. Gifted artisan. Ground fighting, gymnast, inquisitive, master burglar, overrun, inquisitive. When you make an ability check that uses the insight investigate. Nah, it's not specifically. Natural hunter. When you're making an ability check that can use the investigation, nature, or survival. Nah, not specifically. Proselytizer, range attack, resilient. When you make a saving throw, ride the wind, sage knowledge. When making an ability check, you can use history, insight, or investigation. Nah, subtle channeling. Nah. Swift tools, not specifically. Tactical assessments. When making an ability check, uses history, insight, or investigation skill. Add your power die. Unnerving focus. When you make an ability check that can use the intimidation skill, or while rolling to determine if you maintain concentration. Roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest result to your roll. Veterinary training. That's animal handling, medicine, and survival skill. I mean, veteran training is a good default. Unnerving focus is pretty good. Let's go with veterinary training. There we go. It's flavored. It's on flavor. Beastmaster, Savage Attacker, Bait and Switch, veterinary training we picked up at 5. Yeah, so that pans out. Trip. Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, cool. So there's that. So let's get that out of the way. Fey Wanderer is resolved. Okay, let's drop down in. How are we doing on time? So we got Gloomstalker, we've got Horizon Walker, we got Hunter, Monster Slayer, Swarmkeeper. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of these that we need to take a look at. So let's see. Let's see what we can see. Let's go back to the Gloomstalker. Here's the, see, you get 1 spell per level, but everything else always gets 2 per level. So that's why we're adding these additional features. Gloomstalker, is that right? Gloomstalker spells? Oh, cool. So Gloomstalker has a power list. That power list is going to be 5 powers because it gets 5 spells. So it only needs 5 powers in comparison. Seeming, Fear, Rope Trick, Disguise. Cool. So let's take a look at how we're going with these class features currently. I'm going to grab these up, extract them, drop them into a Word file for us to take a look at. So, Dread Ambusher. At 3rd level, you're Master of Art in the Ambush. You can give yourself a bonus to your initiative roll equal to your Wisdom modifier. Cool. At the start of your first turn of each combat, you're walking... at the start of your first turn of each combat, your walking speed increases by 10 feet, which lasts until the end of that turn. If you take the attack action on that turn, you can make 1 additional weapon attack as part of that action. Hey there, buddy. If you take the attack action on that turn. You can make one additional weapon attack as part of that action. If that attack hits, the target takes an extra D8 damage of that weapon's damage type. I think we have some language for Dreadful Striker already, so let's see what it is. Dread Ambusher. Initiative adds power die to the total. What does it say here? You add your initiative roll. Adds the wisdom is the default casting stat for rangers, but a ranger using channeling powers can use strength, dex, or wisdom. Take your pick. So I'm decoupling the wisdom modifier as required. Instead, you're not expected to get a wisdom above 20 as a ranger ever. So instead, we can give it the max rank of power gained as a ranger. So at third level, that'd be a +1. At eventually, it'll be a, if you stay with ranger to 17th level, it'll be a, what's going on? It'll be a +5. Let's see, extra attack deals, instead of dealing a static D8 bonus, it'll be a power die of damage. It starts at a D6 and ends up as a D10 at 17th level. It's a D8 from level 9 through 16, upgrading to D10 at 17th. So it starts off a little weaker and it gets stronger in the end. Levels out at 9. Umbral Sight, at third level you gain dark vision out to a range of 60 feet. You are also adept at evading creatures that rely on dark vision. While in darkness, you are invisible to any creature that relies on dark vision to see you in the darkness. Wow, that's really good. Deal an extra power die of damage. So when you make an attack, let's look at some of the class features. Up here we have for the ranger in general. Mark of Prey. Empowered attack. Optional class feature. Okay, so beginning at 5th level, when you take the attack action and hit with the first attack, you can forego your second attack to reduce the cost of channeling a strike by 1 mana. For example, if a 9th level ranger channels a strike with your first hit, you can channel a 3rd rank strike by foregoing your second attack, reducing the cost from 3 mana to 2. And this combines with Mark of Prey. So when you're attacking a marked creature, you can automatically reduce a strike by 1. You have a second attack, you could then reduce that strike by 2 mana. So you could, at 5th level, you could have a 2nd rank strike when you hit a your marked prey, and you forgo your second attack. You can make a 2nd rank strike for free, which will do an extra 2 dice of damage. Using this option, you are also going to be able to deal with the Gloomstalker, Dread Ambusher, at 5th level. At 5th level, this can be combined with empowered strikes to foregoing this extra to deal to reduce the cost of a strike by 1 additional point. So by 9th level, you can channel a 3rd rank power, and if you ditch your second attack and your Gloomstalker's third attack while hitting a mark of prey, you can effectively single target that with 3 extra dice of damage by making only 1 attack that round against that specific target. It's pretty fucking sweet. Makes you a pretty good assassin. But it's not outbalanced because you're having you're eating. Hello. Because you're eating your action economy to do it. So you could have 3 attacks, or you could forego your extra attacks and gain an extra D6 or D8 or D10 of damage, which may be less damage than you would normally do, but you're able to channel it into 1 hit. So it becomes pretty. It speeds up your round by allowing you to dump more damage into a single hit. But overall, it's still the same amount of attacks, more potentially the same amount of damage. Umbral Sight as source. Iron Mind, 7th level. You have owned your ability to resist the mind-altering powers of your prey. You gain proficiency in wisdom saving throws. If you already have this proficiency throw, cool. Iron Mind, same as Source. Gain wisdom, save, proficiency, or if prof already, gain int or ka prof instead. No reason to change that. Stalker's Flurry at 11. You learn to attack with such unexpected speed that you can turn a miss into another strike. Once on each of your turns, when you miss with a weapon attack, you can make another weapon attack as part of the same action. When you miss with a weapon attack, you make another weapon attack as part of the same act. Once on each of your turns, when you miss with a weapon attack, I need to reword that. Once on each of your turns, when you miss with a weapon attack, you can immediately make there. That's actually important because otherwise you're stacking more attacks at the back end, which could be paid off to increase your rank of power. So you'd actually want to miss attacks so that you can stack on more ranks for free, which isn't what we intend. So I wanted to make that reword there to help cut off that caveat in there that can be exploited. Shadowy Dodge. Starting at 15th level, you can dodge in an unforeseen way with wisps of supernatural shadow around you. Whenever a creature makes an attack roll against you and doesn't have advantage on the roll, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on it. You must use this feature before you know the outcome of the attack roll. Neat. Okay. Attack with disadvantage. Period. Okay, cool. So that takes care of that. Let us now Umbral Sight. Go back up to Umbral Sight. 60-foot dark vision. Cool. That one is good to go. So all we have to do is pick up 5 powers. Let's start at the top end and work our way down again. And that'll probably cap us off for the day. We'll start with sustained powers and work our way through. See if there's anything cool for us to grab. No. Ooh, Blind Sense as 3rd level is a good feat. That's a great feat. That's a great one to pick up. That was easy. Let's see what else we got. Master of Fate, Frenzied Attack, Ghost Walker, Celerity, Flurry of Attacks, Daunting Presence, Weapon Mastery, Sturdy, Strange Metabolism, Quick, Opportunist, Mind Sense, Cloud Strider. Wait, Blind Sight's not a feat. I'm thinking Telekinesis. I'm sure Blind Sense is a Blind Sight. That's got to be a 1st rank. D-Man. Yeah, Blind Sense. Doesn't make sense that you pick up Blind Sense at 3rd because you have Hunter's Mark, which is in direct, or Mark of Prey, which is a direct contradiction. So making sense at 5, so you have the bandwidth for Mark of Prey. That makes sense. Okay, so let's see if there are any feats that are particularly keen. Alert might be good. Dungeon Delver. Let's check out Dungeon Delver. You have advantage on wisdom and intelligence checks made to detect the presence of secret doors. You have advantage on saving throws made to avoid resist traps. You have resistance to damage dealt by traps. And when traveling at a fast pace, doesn't impose the normal... Dungeon Delver isn't on point. Let's see what Alert does for us. Alert. I bet Alert's going to be on point. +5 bonus to initiative. Can't be surprised. Don't gain advantage on attack rolls against you. Result of being unseen by you. Creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls against you as a result of being unseen by you. God, Alert's actually pretty good for a Gloomstalker. Let's go with it. Alert. Feat. Blind Sense we picked up at 5th already. What else you got? Opportunist, Mind Sense, Giant Growth, Cloud Stride, Deadly Presence, Close Quarter Combat, Auto-Attunement, Astute. Thousands Wisdom Checks, Trap Springer, Swift Assessment, Saving Grace, Rogue Stance. You can use bonus action. Oh boy, Rogue Stance isn't bad. Let's do it. What'd you get at 9th? 7th level? Iron Mind. Wisdom saving throw, Stalker's Flurry, Shadowy Dodge. That doesn't have an advantage against you, make the attack a disadvantage. Let's gain Shadow. Let's gain Rogue Stance at I think it's also sus one. Yeah, Rogue Stance. Fast, elemental resistance, dire impact, crouching stance, cliff runner, blind sense. Let's see, Gloomstalker, darkness stuff. Radiance doesn't make sense. No, these don't make sense. As a reaction to rolling one or more power dice, you can re-roll any number. Nah, Gloomstalker, no, not specifically hexproof. As a reaction to when a creature you can see targets you with a spell or magical effect, the creature must succeed a charisma saving throw at disadvantage, or you are unaffected by the spell, or the effect is wasted. And the effect is, or unaffected, and the spell or effect is wasted. Hexproof? Does that feel good? Does hexproof feel good? Kind of. Revival. It doesn't say Gloomstalker very much specifically, does it? One's own luck as a reaction to rolling Gloomstalker. I'm looking for Gloomstalky things. Gloomy things. Stalky things. Gloomstalky things. Empowered defense, downtrodden, deflection, curse of exposure. As a reaction to a creature within 30 feet of you taking damage as the creature's resistance to it, nah. Controlled fall, Capacitator, Wave of Terror, Telekinetic Bubble, Flicker Pounce, Curse of Enfeeblement, Lift, Shunt, Regenerate, Pack Tactics, Phase, Lethargy, Distract, Cursed Brand, curse a creature you can see and make a saving throw against your powers with disadvantage. Swift Attunement, Swift Resuscitation, Restraining Hold, Rally, Healing Radiance, Goad, Swift Attunement, gain. Use an object interaction. Flatten, Curse of the Metal Mind. You curse a creature you can see to roll ability checks and concentration checks with disadvantage. The creature can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect when it succeeds. Curse of the Eyeless. You curse a creature you can see to reduce the result of all attack rolls by the highest roll of 1 power die per mana burn. The creature can make an intelligence save. Oh wow, Curse of the Eyeless is actually kind of on point. Curse of the Eyeless. What is that? Is that a? That's a maneuver. Nice. Maneuver. What? Curse of the Eyeless. Is that one? Wow, it's a first rank power. Oh no, it's a maneuver one. That's right. I like that. I think that works really well for what it gains at 17th level already, which is the Shadowy Dodge. Use a reaction to make them re-roll. But then you can hit them with Curse of the Eyeless, which is going to give them a minus on their effect anyway. You can see in rolls, ability checks, and concentration checks with disadvantage. There you go. Nope. Curse of the Eyeless is you curse a creature you can see to reduce the result of all attack rolls by the highest die roll of the power die. So if you roll 5 dice, you spend 5 mana. At 17th level, you'd be rolling a d10. So whatever the highest result on those d10s are, that is the penalty that they're going to have to their attack rolls until they end the effect. I think it actually makes a lot of sense. I like that. I like that a lot. Now all we have to do is find something that sits inside of that 13th, that 4th rank or less space. Shouldn't be too difficult. Opportunistic, assassinating damage. I mean, assassinating damage is always a good one. It does max damage. When you hit, you spend 4 mana as part of the attack. When you hit, You can boost the damage however much you want, and you can throw 4 mana at it to make sure it's max damage on top of it. That's really good. Yeah, let's go. Let's go with that. That is an exploit 4. And that's all we needed. So we only need those 5 powers. Let's skim through the rest and see if there's something that's even better. And if it jumps out at us, we'll take it. Evade damage. When you succeed a dexterity saving throw to reduce damage, you take none or half if you fail. Actually, that's another. That's 5, which takes exploits to 36, which puts us at 151 disciplines, because I just picked up evade damage. 209. It's evasion, but, you know, you have to pay for it every time you use it, so it's less efficient. Bait and switch, charge, commanding presence, extended attack, evasive footwork. You move, you burn 1 mana per power dice, adding the highest result of your armor class until you stop moving. Meh. Overrun, natural hunter. Sage knowledge, subtle channel. I think we're gonna be when you channel a power, there's no. Ooh. That's not bad. Subtle channeling, when you channel a power, there's no visual evidence that you are the source of power. That's useful. I'm gonna replace Rogue Stance. There you go. Cooperative effort. Synergy, evade damage. I think we're good. Crit, move, iron, roll, lightning, opt, punish, parry, countering attack, one's own luck, parry as a reaction to when another creature damages you melee, roll 1 power die per mana burn, reduce the net damage dealt, punish, opt, lightning, roll the hit, interpose, damage the source you can see, you can take any portion of the damage for them, feint, as a reaction to miss an attack roll, you can try again. Empowered defense, as a reaction to when you are hit by an attack roll from a source you can see, roll a number of power dice equal to the mana burned. Gain a bonus to AC equal to the highest die result until the beginning of your next turn, potentially turning the hit into a miss. Until the beginning of your next turn. Highest die roll. Against the attack roll. There we go. Reroll. control fall, downtrodden, feint, interpose, action, taking damage, source you can see, you can take any portion of it, iron will, roll with a hit, reduce the damage, lightning reflex, advantage of saving throws, punish, parry. As a reaction to another creature you see, damages you with a melee attack, roll 1 power die per mana burn, reducing the damage of the combat result. That is another creature, that's parry, versus... Okay, so parry is as a reaction to when another creature you can see damages you with a melee attack. Damages you, reduce the damage by the combined result. This can replace an opportunity attack. And then interpose is when adjacent ally, you can take any portion of the damage and gain resistance to it. And Powered defense is against a single attack roll. Deflection, as a reaction to when you or an ally within reach of your melee attack are hit by an attack roll with a source you can see, the attack is re-rolled, taking the new result, so that's a forced re-roll. Is that different from parry? Forced re-roll, reduce damage. Just double checking to make sure I don't have any redundancies here on accident. Feint, roll again, empowered defense, single attack, downtrodden, nope. Deflection, as a reaction to when you or an ally within reach of a melee weapon are hit by an attack roll from a source you can see, the attack is re-rolled, negating any crit. There you go. Curse of exposure, control. Nope. Okay, those are all straight. Those are all straight. Okay, great. So that's Gloomstalker. Got that done. Happy. So let's then move into the Horizon Walker. So we are at Horizon Walker. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to cut it for now. We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to come back when we're back tomorrow at lunch. We're going to take care of the Horizon Walker and the Hunter, and I'm going to make sure that I post the right link so people can see it. Horizon Walker only needs 5. Hunter needs... Is that right? Does Hunter need 10? Yeah, Hunter needs 10 powers. Slayer needs 1. Swarm appearance, Swarm magic. 1, 2. Mage hand is a cantrip, so that doesn't count. So we'll leave that in place. We'll still go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll still give him 5. And then Writhing Tide. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. So, yep, that's it for today, guys. Anyone that's checking this out in the future, thanks a lot for being here. This will be part of the Color Mana Spell Point Variant Rule Bundle once it's completed. So you can check this stuff out now and then check out the playtest that we showed at the beginning of the stream to link through to see the playtest document that we're working with so that you can mix and match your color mana or play into elemental magic if you want. Pacts and Patrons of Ravnica is 10 unique otherworldly patrons themed around each of the 10 guilds and their color combinations. Theurgy is an ability check casting system that exchanges time and gold for casting spells instead of spending mana or spell slots. And Spelljammer Combat and Exploration, we are currently illustrating that in the morning, Monday through Fridays. And once that's done, that will also have a link in the description down below for you guys to check out. So thanks a lot for checking this stuff out. I'll be back tomorrow, so if you want to see more stuff, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll be happy to hang out with y'all. So see you then. Cheers.